Welcome to the big show. This is Investing with Confidence. I am your host, Joshua David, and we are happy to have you with us today. Once again, on this beautiful Saturday morning, I have my good friend, and he is the stock master today, Mr. Al Connickson. And Al, how the heck are you doing today?
I'm really doing fantastic. Looking forward to what is happening this afternoon.
I don't even know.
Oh, maybe a football game?
It's quite possible.
It is
Football
quite possible,
is
yeah.
back, and it is here to stay.
Love it.
Let's go Vikings. But it's always great to be back before football starts to talk about the financial markets.
That's important, too.
Basically helping our listeners make better investing decisions. And that's what we're going to talk about here today on Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. And Online Trading Academy has been teaching people just like you for over 24 years how to utilize the financial markets. Now, that's the stock market, the whole market, futures, forex, options, how to utilize that for income potential during your working years or potentially even during those retirement years. And we're going to talk about some different terms today. We're going to talk about the markets. We're going to talk about supply and demand, which is how the financial markets function. Before we do that, we had a great week in the markets. The S&Ps, the Dow, just a little bit of a gain there. The NASDAQ, a little bit slower on the quiet side, but that's a good thing for investors. Oil, we've been talking about that. Dropped last week. This week, kind of indecision, so we'll see what happens coming up next week. The dollar, we've been talking about a supply zone right around that 92.80 mark, and it's actually respecting that supply zone, and that's those terms we're going to talk about, how to make decisions based off of supply and demand. Before we do that, what's your opinion on these stock markets? Where are these great moves happening? How can we participate as average investors and to make better investing decisions?
Well, as we always say, Josh, as long as the market is open, there will be opportunities there for us. Right now we're back into that tug-of-war situation. We've had some really good earnings that have come out. But also what is happening is that the dreaded coronavirus is still with us, and the Delta variant is causing some concerns. So there's kind of that tug-of-war between the two, which probably is keeping this market a little bit muted. We've seen some things. You mentioned the dollar in a supply zone. We'll talk about supply zones in a while. But what we've also seen is maybe some of the flight to safety kinds of things. Gold, silver, the gold miners have been up. But there's some things that are happening that are going to impact the market, none of which we can control. It's out of our control. And what we always say is you don't fight the market, which means you don't fight those that control it. And the truth is there are people, there are institutions, organizations, and individuals that can control and do control the price, the movement of price. So what we start with for our students is talking about a proprietary foundational investment strategy called Core Strategy, which all of our students use all the time. Now, what is it? Why does it work? And why, when we explain it to people, why do people have an aha moment, whether they've never traded before or they're experienced traders? Well, let's start with what it is. It's a rules-based investment strategy. It's a step-by-step, 6-step process that's designed to help you identify quality trades or investments based on each individual's unique goals and characteristics. There isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of strategy. It should be customized to you, because what might be a great trade, an appropriate trade for one person, may be totally inappropriate for another person. So it should be customized. Why it works? Well, it works because at its core, kind of at the heart of the core strategy, it's based on something that is factual, that cannot be argued. And that happens to be the number one component that influences the risk level, the profit potential, and the odds or the probability of success. And I'm talking about, low risk, high profit potential, and increased probability of success. Just talking about price, it's identifying the proper price to make an entry into a position, the proper price to exit a position. And it's based on an economic law that can't be argued, and that's that relationship between supply and demand. In the financial world, we're talking about that supply and demand being buyers and sellers. And when that is out of balance, something happens, and that's the thing that Core Strategy identifies. It's what that something is and how to take advantage of it.
You're right, and that's the great thing about when you understand a strategy, a step-by strategy to make better investing decisions. It doesn't matter what the price movement does. You just want it to move, and we can't control the market, but what we can control is our decisions. our investment decisions within these markets, and it's understanding the law of supply and demand. Think of it as the law of gravity. If you throw a ball up in the air, we know it's going to come down, and we can anticipate where it might come down at. That's the same thing in the strategy, is anticipating investment decisions or what the banks and institutions could potentially be doing, so we can do the same, because we can't beat them. So what do we have to do? We have to join them. So if you want to learn more about a step-by-step strategy to place your investment decisions, Al teaches investing classes right here in Bloomington. He also gets into different topics of how the markets work, supply and demand. We'll continue to talk about that here today. But it's the beginning of the show, and I want to give away these tickets for callers 1 through 10. When you call in right now, you're going to receive 2 tickets for this free investing class. You're also going to receive the Financial Quick Start Kit when you attend. That will actually help you get started right away. Call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. You can also text the word INVEST to the number 484848. You receive a link back. Click the link. Pick a date for the investing class. You're going to receive that quick start kit when you come in. Al, what's next?
Well, we talked a little bit about core. We're going to continue talking about that. And what do we need to add to core to add to your chances of being a successful trader or investor?
Adding odds and probabilities into your investment strategy. Once again, for 2 tickets, 952-814-4410, or text the word INVEST to the number 484848. This is Josh and Al, investing with confidence.